looks like we're not getting that big, beautiful truce. Well, not yet, at least. President Trump telling Bret Baier today that he is not interested in talking to Elon Musk and that, quote, Elon's totally lost it. And like any breakup, he's giving his stuff back. President Trump is thinking about selling the Tesla he purchased back when he was trying to help promote Elon Musk's company. It has been parked for 3 months at the White House. However, the commander-in-chief was taking calls this morning, just not from Elon. Watch.
You call the president on his cell phone at 6:45, he picks up.
He said Elon wants to talk to him. He's not ready to talk to Musk, who he called a man who has lost his mind.
Someone who just got off the phone with the president. CNN chief political correspondent Dana Bash joins us now by phone. Dana, what did he tell you?
Good morning, John. Well, he said that he's, quote, well, here's exactly what he said, quote, I'm not even thinking about Elon. He's got a problem. The poor guy's got a problem. He said he won't be speaking to him for a while, but he said he wishes Elon Musk well.
But some Democrats are split on the big, beautiful breakup. One lawmaker warming up to the idea of bringing Musk back into the tent. But others like ASC were spiking the football.
Oh, man, the girls are fighting, aren't they?
If Donald Trump is smart, the first thing he's going to do is fire, investigate, and prosecute all of Elon's people.
Democrats have to be a big tent party. And the way we do that is by bringing in people like Elon Musk and anyone else who would be open to the idea of competent government.
The Dems, we've been dumping all over Musk and vandalizing Teslas or whatever, and now suddenly we might be more back into him.
So, Jessica, is it okay for Democrats to dust off their Teslas and start driving them again?
Yeah, totally. I think it was okay for you to keep doing it. I did see one on the Merritt Parkway where they had, you know, like the Tesla sign is a T, but it said resist. So it was like resist on it. So it was a combination of I don't like you, but also this is a peak performance car and I love it. I personally am a fan of Teslas. I love how Trump called everyone to say, I'm not thinking about Elon Musk, like classic. You just got dumped Dana Bash. Yeah, totally. You know, all my speed dials like, hey, Brett, I'm not thinking about him at all. What's going on with you? It was, he called, I don't know, something's in my ear. Brett called him. Okay. Anyway, Trump wants to talk about it. He's upset about it.
He's answering the phone.
He doesn't sleep and he loves the phone. So this all makes sense.
Has
It's
he
kind of a
called you?
perfect storm. Definitely not.
Do you have his number?
No, but I'm sure other people at the table can help me out.
Jesse, do you have his number?
No comment.
Okay. So this is all fun, right? Like the Real Housewives of the Oval Office. And yesterday I was having a great time, you know, wonderful meme day. Twitter's got its groove back, all of that. But two things are really important here. One, we can't take our eye off the prize, which is actually the content of what Elon Musk is talking about. And that is this big, beautiful bill. So he's upset because personally it's an attack on his companies because of getting rid of the energy credits. But he's right about ballooning the deficit. He is right about that you don't need those kinds of tax cuts. And he's right, and others as well, that you're going to be throwing millions of people off of their health insurance. The other part of this, and I heard it all the time, you know, well, it's so amazing. You know, we have a transparent administration back in office and we're respected around the world. It is the exact opposite. We are the laughingstock of the world. Literally, the internet across the globe is making fun of America.
No, not the internet making fun of America. I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight.
I'm not just saying like random like big balls accounts. I'm talking about like Medvedev, all of the Russians, everyone in the government.
Medvedev was tweeting about this?
Well, if this were reversed, you would be making so much fun of. No, we couldn't actually. We couldn't possibly.
No, it can't be. It's impossible to be reversed. It's impossible because you guys don't do anything in front of other people. You did 5 years
you said Joe
of
Biden
a
basically died
massive
in front
deception, entirely designed to trick a country. Look, if this feud were having in a vacuum, I might feel differently, right? But I will gladly embrace a feud over a fraud. This isn't a backroom cover-up of a horror show of a presidency. It's not a massive deception engineered to trick a country. This is an open quarrel between patriots, one who's risking his empire and another who risked his life, both for this country. And we understand it. We understand what's going on here. But the Dems don't, because the idea of fighting over principles, honesty, transparency is so alien to them. They're thinking like, dude, why didn't you guys just lie? I mean, that's what we do. We had an incapacitated president and we pretended he was real. Why are you guys fighting? Haven't you ever heard of lockstep? No, we have Republicans, libertarians. We have a tolerance for risk. We're okay with arguments. We're even fine with infighting. This isn't even that interesting to me. It isn't. And, you know, Musk, to his credit, is directing a hell of a lot of attention to something that is existential, the economic debt crisis. And that's important. He's doing everything he can to do that. And he's mad at Trump for not getting there fast enough. But if you were to ask a Democrat who's right, most of them wouldn't have an answer because the answer doesn't matter. In their world, it doesn't matter. This might be ugly, it might be passionate, but it's another day in the office for adults. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews on the feed.
You can never get my shine. I'ma keep on grinding until I reach the top. When it's just in my jeans and I ain't looking back 'cause I'm feeling like Chris, bro. They can never slow me down, but they need to hate me. Now I'm feeling like Chris. know that we winning, we with it, we going, we flowing again. I might just go by a Benz. I might just blow my advance. Whoa, I did it all for the feeling. Alive, but I'm making a killing. I'm gonna break every ceiling, cause I need $1 million, but I don't need your money. You can pay me in respect, cause once I do it.
Salute, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Civil Shit TV. I'm your host, Alvin Holden, also known as Project 8020. I'm here on a Friday afternoon. Salute to everybody that might catch this on a replay. Salute to all my new watchers. Do me a huge favor, hit that like button real quick. I don't ask very often. Before I get super deep into this whole thing, which I think is a lot of a big nothing burger, in my honest opinion, let's cover some things that happened in the news recently. I don't know if you guys are paying attention or not, but there was a situation in Palm Springs a couple of weeks ago and a couple of days ago. What they did was they found this young man's person that helped him. What do we call that? I forget. Accomplice. That's it. That's accomplice. And basically, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of a refresher really quick so that you guys know what I'm talking about. Let's handle this real quick.
Still a very active scene here. I'm going to step out of the way so that you can see everything going on right now. There are dozens of police vehicles, emergency vehicles, fire trucks. We do know that bomb squad did just arrive on the scene. They have cleared the area. We are here at the intersection of Tachiva Drive and Indian Canyon Drive. Again, they did ask.
Now, once again, just a heads up, this happened a couple of weeks ago in Palm Springs, but I want everyone to get their memory refreshed.
All of the firefighters, police officers, sheriff's deputies to step away from the clinic. We're going to send in the bomb squad to kind of check in on that. I did get a statement from the Desert Care Network here from Desert Regional, and they said, quote, on Saturday morning, an explosion occurred at an unaffiliated office building. Hospital staff is now cooperating with police as they investigate the cause. The emergency department, by the way, does remain open. The hospital is fully operational, but they are asking visitors to refrain from coming to the hospital right now as police have limited the access to the roadways in and out. So some of the windows, by the way, on the office building and on the a lot of surrounding buildings here were completely blown out. If you walk up and down the street, you'll.
So if you guys know anything about Palm Springs, this actually happened in an area where there's, I believe, a hospital on the other side. There's a lot of health situations going on. And there was a fertility clinic that got a couple of extra holes put in it. And a young man decided he wanted to park his vehicle in the back parking lot of this thing, and he exploded the vehicle, killing himself. Now, up until recently, they didn't know if he had done this thing by himself. And I don't know whether you guys know or not, but a couple of days ago, a young man was arrested behind helping him out. And so this is why I wanted to play just that quick clip ahead of time. Let's hear where things are now. Let's rock.
And welcome to the KTLA 5 Morning News at 11 a.m. I'm Lou Parker. And I'm Lauren Lister in for Glenn Walker. The FBI has arrested a man in connection with last month's bombing at a fertility clinic in Palm Springs. That blast injured 4 people and killed the primary suspect. KTLA 5's Kimberly Chang live in Westwood with details on the man in custody and his alleged role in that crime.
Good morning. Officials made the announcement at a news conference that just wrapped up here at the FBI's LA headquarters. Take a look at this photo that they released this morning. This is 32-year-old Daniel Jong-Yeon Park from Kent, Washington. He's been arrested and faced.
Hold up. Does that look like a model minority to y'all? Is that a model minority? All right, just double checking. Proceed.
Faces federal charges. He's accused of helping the Palm Springs Fertility Clinic suicide bomber, 25-year-old Guy Edward Barkis of 29 Palms. Officials with the U.S. Justice Department believe that Park provided Barkis with chemical materials prior to the terror attack last month. Park allegedly shipped and paid for significant amounts of ammonium nitrate, a material that can be used to make explosives, but is typically used for farming purposes.
That's the back half of the car, by the way.
Park was detained in Poland and was deported to the U.S., where he was arrested last night at JFK Airport in New York. Park is a U.S. citizen. Officials are not sure what his connection is to Poland, but say that he flew to Europe.
Oh, my bad. I made a mistake. That other young man was an American citizen. So I apologize.
A few days after that terror attack. Officials say on May 17th, Barkis drove a car containing a bomb to a fertility clinic in Palm Springs and detonated it, killing himself. Many others were injured, and the fertility clinic's building was destroyed. U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley said today that Park contributed to the destructive device. Investigators say he shipped material totaling some 270 pounds to Barkis and allegedly paid for some of it. According to the complaint, Park stayed with Barkis between January and February and conducted experiments in the garage, the same garage where authorities found significant amounts of chemicals commonly used in the construction of homemade bombs. It's believed that Park shared Barkis's extremist views.
The philosophy, this anti-pro-life ideology, we do believe that that's the reason they targeted this fertility clinic. They don't believe people should be
anti-pro-life. Okay. Anti-pro-life. Okay.
The philosophy, this anti-pro-life ideology, we do believe that that's the reason they targeted this fertility clinic. They don't believe people should be, new life should be created, that it should be not created without consent. I don't know really what that means, but that is the reason that we believe that they likely targeted the location that they did. That's why we're calling this a terrorist attack. The location was not a coincidence.
Now, Park is expected to make his first court appearance in a U.S. District Court in Brooklyn at some point today. If convicted, Park could face a statutory maximum sentence of 15 years in federal prison. Reporting live here in Westwood, Kimberly Chang, KTLA 5 News.
Yikes. Anyways, that's a nice little update. For those of you that are new to the channel, I covered this story a little while ago, and I was just always curious. I was going to be curious to know how that was going to pan out. Anyways, so let's fast forward to this big, beautiful bill and Elon Musk having a little bit of a tissy fit. Now, again, in my honest opinion, I think this is a bit of a nothing burger, if I had to say. But let's start this with the Associated Press. And this is coming from the Associated Press a couple of days ago. Let's rock.
Tech billionaire Elon Musk has blasted the Republican tax cuts and spending plans that passed the House. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination, Musk posted Tuesday on X. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it, he added. The White House played down the criticism from one of Trump's top advisors and funders.
Look, the president already knows where Elon Musk stood on this bill. It doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it.
Musk left the Trump administration last week after heading the Department of Government Efficiency. President Trump wants his bill of tax breaks and spending cuts to be signed into law by the 4th of July. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said the bill is ugly to its very core and that senators should listen to Musk. House Speaker Mike Johnson called Musk's harsh criticism of the bill very disappointing. The bill also includes $350 billion for border security, deportations, and national security, and would raise the nation's debt limit by $4 trillion. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent warned Congress the nation will run out of money to pay its bills if the debt ceiling, now at $36 trillion, is not lifted by mid-July or early August.
Now, I'm curious to know, and shout out to everybody that might be watching shit. I'm curious to know how all of you guys actually feel about this whole situation, because I'm not convinced that everybody is on the up and up. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm not convinced that Elon Musk is being motivated 100% by 100% by being a good citizen. I think that his company probably gets some tax breaks. Gets some tax breaks, and he's fighting to keep his tax breaks. Now, real quick, Pissed Possum, what's up? How are you doing? We got some new people in here. He said MAGA is fag. I don't know what that means. Does that mean MAGA is fake? Is that what that means? Is that what that's supposed to mean? All right, then. That's cool. Anyways, Steve Bannon, who has been consistently MAGA, probably what some would say was the creator of MAGA, has been consistent about his issues with Elon Musk from the very beginning. Even though they've played in the same sandbox, Steve Bannon has been very clear about his position. And he had an interview today speaking about the whole back and forth. And I thought it was very interesting. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to let this rock a little bit. And you guys grab your popcorn, have a seat, and feel free to chime in the comment section. Super chats get read for shizzle and they get a salute. But let's see what's rocking here.
Unless you've been asleep for the past 24 hours, you will know by now that the beautiful friendship between Elon Musk and Donald Trump is over in a major way.
It's over.
We want to understand it better. And instead of trying to find some neutral observer who's going to be exactly fair, we understand that this is a division that goes deep down the American right. And there are no such people as neutral observers. So instead, we're going to find people who are engaged, who are in the battle, and you can make your own mind up knowing the perspective they come from. First, we are in touch with his most ardent critic, the attacker-in-chief of Elon Musk, the person who for months has been stirring revolt among the MAGA faithful against Elon.
Do you guys think people with English accents sound more intelligent? Is that kind of a thing? I know it's a cheat code when you're like going out trying to holler at girls. If you have a British accent, that's usually kind of a cheat code. But does that work for news too? Like if the news person you're listening to has a British accent, does that, do you take them more serious? I don't know. Food for thought.
Musk, Trump advisor and host of the War Room, Steve Bannon. Welcome to Unheard, Steve.
Love the website. Go there every day, and honored to be on here.
This must be a busy day for you because someone you're not that fond of, Mr. Musk, has fallen out with the commander-in-chief. Do you see it as a personal victory?
No, it's not. I don't ever look at things like that at all. Right now it's a national security issue. The president was more than kind to Elon, to bring him in, to treat him like family, to have his family at Mar-a-Lago, he and his son. President Trump gave him total access, total support. The Doge effort was very supported. I was a big supporter of deconstructing administrative state. And, what we found out is that he didn't find any fraud, right? He promised $2 trillion, then $1 trillion, then $160 billion. And what's even out there, these are all programmatic things that have been in appropriations bills that Republicans and MAGA have been arguing about, like the first $9 billion rescission package. So he hasn't.
I don't know if I would agree 110% with Mr. Bannon on it. Hasn't seen any fraud. After we get through with this, we're going to look at Doge's website, but I'm going to let him continue.
And we're demanding, where's the money? What was Doge really doing? Number one. Number two, we want to make sure Doge and Elon Musk didn't take any of the data sets for his personal use, for his artificial intelligence, which is driving all of his businesses. So we have to make sure of that. On the national security side, given what he said about the president, it wasn't like making changes to a bill he knew everything about and never made any comment at the time. For your audience, he came in and tried to be destructive, kill the bill, kill President Trump's centerpiece of his legislative agenda and his supply side tax cut, and kind of repurposing the American economy. Also, we find out from the Wall Street Journal, he actually called CEOs when Liberation Day came, and President Trump was in the beginning phase of talking to other countries and talking to CEOs about reciprocity of tariffs. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that he went and actually whipped up CEOs against President Trump's tariffs. Now, President Trump, I think, had enough of it. Elon asked to stay longer. Mark Caputo and Axios reports that. President Trump said, no, your time here is done. President Trump's very uncertain of what Doge actually accomplished, wanted him out of the White House, was pretty adamant about it. And like an 11-year-old, Elon struck back. And what he said yesterday, he crossed the Rubicon. This is not about a bill. It's not about cutting spending. We're the biggest deficit hawks out there, been on this, working this for over a year. What he did was to try to destroy the bill, kill the bill, right, which would destroy President Trump's supply side tax cut and a huge tax cut for the working class and middle class here. But then he went further than that. He's the one that made it personal. He talked about the
Okay. All right. Hold on. What's happening here? Oh. So Elon went ahead. Okay. All right. So he retweeted him partying with Epstein. Okay, I could see how that might leave Donald Trump with a slightly bad taste in his mouth. I could see that. I could see that. Let's continue.
Files. He talked about impeaching President Trump and replacing him with the vice president. Given everything we've gone through, remember, we're 10 days or 9 days away from the 10th anniversary of Trump coming down the golden escalator. What the MAGA movement's been through, what President Trump's supporters been through, what President Trump has been through over the last 10 years, all the ups and downs, the triumphs and the defeats, to sit there and go, after President Trump's been impeached twice by these radical Democrats, to actually say that you want him impeached, and then to talk about and threaten him with your money, that, I'm going to be around for 40 years. You're only around for.
Let's see. And some food for thought as they ponder this question. Trump has 3.5 years left as president, but I'll be around for 40 plus years. Oh. Okay. I kind of perceive that as a threat. Does anybody else perceive that as a threat? I don't know. I mean, I'm just asking. I'm only making observations here. I'm not taking a position one way or another. A bunch of billionaires fighting over shit. I'm just a guy sitting on here in front of a camera with a microphone while looking at YouTube just like y'all. Cynthia Gonzalez, what's up? Cynthia Gonzalez says Bannon is just jealous of Elon. That's possible. That's possible. I don't put that past. Jealousy is a very interesting thing. You know, everybody gets jealous. Dogs get jealous. Cats get jealous. I think even fish and dolphins get jealous. I'm just saying.
For 3.5 years, it's totally and completely outrageous.
I mean, you've been seeing from this hymn sheet for a while. You've been criticizing Musk on these grounds. I mean, if you're right, doesn't it raise pretty serious questions about the president's judgment? What he was saying nice things about him just weeks ago. They were continuing to be friends. I mean, how did it last so long?
Well, look,
and look, I don't know. Maybe Bannon is crazy. You know, he actually looked like he combed his hair for this interview, and usually he doesn't comb his hair. He did go to jail. He went to prison. And he did come out speaking like Malcolm X. I don't know. After he came out of prison, he started sounding like he had a little bit more sense. I started paying a little bit more attention. But I'm like I said, I'm just hearing what this guy's got to say.
One, look, we are building a bigger coalition. You're seeing this in UK politics also. We're building a bigger coalition. And so you do have these tech bros, right? They did come in. Some of them came in late in the 24 campaign. Most of them came in after we won. And we're trying to build a bigger coalition. But here's the issue. These people translate money to ultimate power. And Silicon Valley values, Silicon Valley's way of doing things is not Washington's way of doing things. And Washington's got to change. We're hammering it. But there is a process. You just can't come in and get everything you want and do it entirely your way with not thinking about people at all. And what Elon did, I think the president tried to make sure that he had every opportunity. We all want to cut federal spending. His promise and commitment to the president of cutting $1 trillion in federal spending was something he stuck to the end until we found out it was all a fraud. I mean, this is what caused the physical altercation you had in the West Wing right outside the Oval Office between the Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, who's a good friend of mine and a very even-handed guy. He and Elon got into a physical altercation. And that's because, number one, people felt that day that Elon might have been on drugs. And number two, Scott called him a fraud to his face and said, look, we're in the middle of a terrible budget fight. You committed to $2 trillion. Then you committed to $1 trillion. Now you talk about $160 billion. We don't see where you got anything. And obviously that got under Elon's skin. So I think the president went out of his way to basically give him every opportunity to perform. And it turned out just to be a fiasco. And he turned on the president viciously, and he turned on the president personally.
On the Scott Bessent point, you say that the black eye that Elon had in the Oval Office was actually caused by Bessent punching him? Is that your
No. Hold on. How would he say that? Hold on.
That Elon had in the Oval Office.
All right, that didn't look good, by the way. I don't know how. Does anybody know how he really got that? Does anybody know? I mean, when you get old, you bruise from like easy things stuff, and you know, like I mean, I don't think Elon is that old, but I think that, I mean, he could have gotten that like playing baseball in the backyard with his kid. You know, like it doesn't. I mean, he could have very well been punched, but I don't know.
This was actually caused by Bessent punching him. Is that the information you have?
No. That happened. The Scott Bessent physical altercation happened weeks before. That was one of the controversies about the IRS. But this is one of the reasons I think the president said, hey, I think the China briefing where he tried to get a top secret briefing on the China war plan, given the fact that he's in business with the CCP. And many people think that he might be an agent of influence of the CCP since he's always promoting the Chinese Communist Party's party line. The Bessent thing happened a couple weeks after that. But look, the black eye, the president said yesterday, he offered the guy some makeup before they had that final little ceremony, and he turned it down. And the president, brought it up a couple of times. It was odd. I have no idea where it came from.
All right. So you're about to go on TV. And you have a black eye. And they offer you makeup. Do you take the makeup? But still not offer an excuse as to why you have the black eye? I don't know. Anthony Young says Musk got his black eye from being arrogant. Look, I'm not dunking on any of these dudes. I got to be real. I'm just kind of, it's funny when they're in this like circular firing squad. And so everybody's just catching strays right now. And I'm just on the outside looking in, watching, but I probably would have taken, I wouldn't have taken the makeup, but I would have at least provided a reason for why I have a black eye.
We'll tell you, I think it looks like the receiving end of a left hook. I'm not sure his little boy, 3-year-old boy, was able to deliver that, but then I'm sure that will come up in one of the drug investigations.
You're not claiming it as a
It's cold-blooded
personal victory, but at least it looks like a victory for one kind of understanding of MAGA. The more big government, the more worker side understanding of what MAGA.
Did he provide an answer? What did he say? Jerome, shout out to you, bro. What did he actually say? What did he say? Said it was his kid? I could see it if he saw it. I mean, you know, kids, man, I remember jumping on my dad's chest from like the top of the couch once. And like, there was like a split second where I thought he absolutely wanted to kill me. X punched him. Did he name his kid X? Am I tripping? Did I know that? Did I not know that? Oh, wow. Yeah, that fool's.
MAGA means, as opposed to a more libertarian tech bro, as you call it. Do you think that has been a philosophical battle? And do you think that battle is now won?
Look, it's certainly not one. The populist nationalists is not that we want bigger government. We actually want government out of people's life, but we do understand that you need an apparatus, right? You need some sort of regulatory apparatus. This is why right now the anti-tech bro Justice Department, we're the first group to actually work with Democrats to make sure that you can break up these great concentrations of private power because they're dangerous. So in the Justice Department, we have a fierce antitrust going on. And the Justice Department, we have Google in federal court and 2 federal courts to try to break them up. We've got Facebook. President Trump's FTC has Facebook in federal court.
Hey, actually, Solodolo, he does have a obsession with X. He really does. Like that I've absolutely heard. And he X everything, X this, X that, X this. If trust me, he's going to be around for a long time. It'll be very clear that Elon Musk owns it because it will have an X on it or X in the logo or X in something. I guarantee it for sure. And real quick, look, part of the issue here is, and why I think that we've been getting such mixed messages around these tariffs and some of these businesses and so on and so forth, is that a lot of our American businesses have gone overseas and kind of sold out the American people in a lot of ways. And they've been hiding their money in the tax code. They've been doing a lot of things that, you know, if the American people actually knew what they were doing and how influential these other countries were in the policies that were happening here in this country, I think we would look at Elon Musk and a lot of these other companies a little bit different. Now, Facebook has been working hand in fist with China because, or X has, a lot of these countries, if they're trying to do business in China at all, then they have to bend the knee. Well, China says, look, this is a surveillance state. So I don't care what y'all doing over there in the United States. If you're going to come over here to China, then we want you to build in the back doors and we want access and blah, 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 blah. And if you don't, then you can pound salt. We're not going to let you in. So having billions of people, access to billions of people and resources, and them building in these back doors for their apps, so on and so forth over there, even though their home is over here, I could see why they would want to still be able to do things over there. But I digress. Let's let them continue.
With a lawsuit that Lena Khan, the great Lena Khan, in her time in the Biden regime, which they didn't take her very seriously, really honed this lawsuit. So you have this, what we call neo-Brandeisian people that are very concerned about the concentration of private power in these oligarchs created by the progressive left and the Democratic Party. Because remember, all the oligarchs, including Elon Musk, they're all progressive Democrats, right? They may put a
Broligarchs is kind of funny. I'm just saying, Broligarchs is funny.
A facade of libertarianism on the top because they don't want any controls whatsoever and just do without wilt. But no, we're not for bigger government. What we're for is economic populism and economic nationalism. And yes, is this a victory? But it's definitely not a final victory. This fight's going to take place every day because we are trying to include these tech bros as part of our coalition and part of our alliance. There is a lot they bring to the table that's quite positive.
Yeah, like being able to monitor and surveil your people. I digress.
There's also a lot to bring to the table that's not, and particularly their disregard of workers. They're disregard of the worker class. We're a working class party and a middle class party and a middle class movement.
People who are engaged,
Okay.
who are in the battle.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. Let's get back to where we were. Hold on, because that's not what's been. Hold on. Let's say that again.
Because this has to be done by the fall because the tax cuts to the working class and middle class expire. Given all that and so much more, you would think people would try to take the burden off his shoulders, not personally attack him, not accuse him of being part of the Epstein situation, not call for his impeachment, not call for starting a new party, not call and sit there. President Trump's only there for 3.5 years. I'm there for 40. Talk about withholding the money. You don't put more burdens on President Trump. You try to take the burdens off him. And I think the Elon Musk situation has got to be sorted first before anything else is addressed.
And what exactly does that look like? So you've recommended that he's deported. You think the evidence of the
Deportation is funny.
No. I said the following. I think his security clearance should be pulled immediately and held in abeyance. I think the Defense Production Act should be an executive order so that the government steps in and under new management that's there already, that both Starlink and SpaceX continue on because he threatened to shut down one of the major programs yesterday on a tweet. You got to make sure that's steady and that the government contracts. And I think 80 or 90% of the revenue at SpaceX.
Like they have hundreds of billions of dollars in government contracts. Like conflict of interest, maybe, kind of.
Texas government contracts. You have to make sure that that's under management that is serious and stable.
Hold on, what does that mean though? Do you mean nationalizing SpaceX?
Not nationalizing. You take it over for a while to make sure you got the current management there, but there's stable management. You don't have someone there that may have a major drug issue, that may have a major relationship with the Chinese Communist Party, that may not be a legal citizen. Those are the.
Hey, you know what? I got time today. I'm feeling good. Sick propaganda. Which part? Tell me, please. Tell me which part. Because we hadn't even started propagandizing yet. I was just setting the table. I hadn't even, you don't even know what position I've taken. Sick propaganda. What part is sick? Please tell me real quick. Let me know what part is sick. I haven't even started to propagandize you yet. I just started. We just started the show a little bit ago. We're just getting warmed up. I haven't even taken a position. You don't even know what position I'm on. All I'm doing is we're just sharing the news.
The 3 investigations, I think, have to happen right away. His drug use is outlined in the New York Times. His involvement in the Chinese Communist Party that's been outlined by the Washington Post and Wall Street Journal. And also now the citizenship question, which his brother and other people have been pretty brazen about the fact that he overstayed a visa and illegally applied for citizenship and got a citizenship. Those 3 things also at the same time. An investigation into Doge. Like, where's the fraud? The president spent 3.5 minutes on his State of the Union address or the joint address to Congress going through all these people on Social Security that were 200 years old. There's not one penny found. At least I have asked a dozen times. There's not one penny found or made public that a penny was found that went to any of those. Those are like old bookkeeping records. We need to find out exactly what Doge did, exactly the waste, fraud, and abuse they found, not programmatically, which we're doing the cuts now on waste, fraud, and abuse. And in addition, there has to be a major investigation that the Doge people didn't extract data sets of either information of the government or from American citizens to use to build their artificial intelligence.
Does anybody think they didn't take the data? Does anybody think they didn't take the extra data? Right? Like, that's not even in the, like, if you're an engineer and you have access to that kind of data, and let's just be real, I don't think Americans really understand how important that data really is. Do you honestly think that Elon Musk got in there, took a poke around, looked around, and didn't take any of the data with them? I don't know. I find that hard to believe.
So to be clear, because it was reported in the New York Times that you had said you did want him deported. You don't think he should be deported?
By the way, I do believe, I strongly believe that he's here illegally, that he lied on all his applications and visas, and that if that's the case, he has to be deported immediately. You cannot deport 13 million people, particularly many people from the third world, and let some billionaire get away with that. So I'm very strongly for that he should be deported if it turns out that he did these things inappropriately, which I strongly believe we'll find out, but that is for people to actually investigate.
It feels like the effect.
I mean, at least he's consistent. Shout out to Steve Bannon. I don't know. Look, man, if the guy is here illegally, if he's here illegally, and shout out to Solo Dello, absolutely, bro. He is a data broker. Like, that is what all these guys are doing. These technocrats, like, their data, the more data they have, the better that they can sell you, the better they can keep you on your phone, just like this. That's where they want to keep you. So I have a hard time believing that he didn't snatch a bunch of data. But like I said, let's continue.
is returned. He called you a communist retard this morning. Are you either of those things?
I've been sanctioned. I'm the only civilian sanctioned by the Chinese Communist Party. I lead the anti-CCP effort here that everybody knows. We have a very large effort to anti-CCP decouple. It's just this childish. I mean, you're
I guess
dealing
it's
with
taking over private companies or taking over the management that he's referring to.
No, that's something that needs to be done. This is a national security issue. Yesterday, as a CEO and founder and major shareholder of a company that gets 90% of its revenues of government contracts, he just willy-nilly said he's canceling one of the biggest programs. Coupled with the reports that have.
Is that true? 80 to 90% of his stuff is government contracts. Is that just SpaceX or is that Tesla too? I know Elon was pissed about there were tax breaks and benefits that I believe were taken off of EVs. I could see him being pissed off about that because that was a distinct advantage that he had over the American-made vehicles, so on. If you get a tax cut if you purchase a American-made EV, even though Ford and Chevy make EVs, they're not 100% made in the United States, and you couldn't get a tax break for purchasing them. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I have a vague Google search understanding of what's going on. I have a hard time believing that Elon's not partially pissed about that part also, because Tesla took a crap because of the last month and everything that's been happening, and the legislation comes out that pulls the tax breaks that people were getting for buying his cars instead of American made or other manufacturers.
Have not been refuted. He didn't want to deal with it in the Oval when he was asked the question by the Fox reporter. The New York Times story has gone unrefuted. So you have a national security. You have two major companies controlled by this guy, and it's somehow, and I say the easiest way to do it is use the Defense Production Act. You've got a management team that I hear underneath him is quite stable. They would run it until that time of his security clearance was sorted out. But I think that has to be done today. I'm the leading fighter against the Chinese Communist Party, of which let's be blunt, he's an agent of influence of the Chinese Communist Party. He's owned lock, stock, and barrel.
Ooh, Chinese vice president meets with Elon Musk ahead of Trump inauguration. I mean, look, these guys have businesses in these other countries. If you want to have access to those markets, then you have to play nice with those governments. And if those governments don't see things exactly the way that your own government does, you got to play by their rules if you're going to do whatever you want to do or have access in their countries. And it sounds like Elon wanted to still do business in China. And so he's going to have to play nice.
I've said this for years. You saw that in what he tried to do in getting Xi over here to the inauguration. He actually forced himself into the Pentagon, which was a huge explosion. And there's a huge article today in the Atlantic magazine that backs up everything I say, that President Trump was outraged when he found out that Elon Musk determined himself to force the generals and the senior staff at the Pentagon to give him a highly classified briefing on the war plans with China. Why would Elon Musk need that other than to maybe talk to his business partners about it? He has no need to know the business plan or the strategic plan and the warfighting plan against the Chinese Communist Party, particularly around Taiwan. Now that that's a very real possibility. As our defense secretary said in Singapore on Saturday, an attack by the Chinese Communist Party, by the PLA, may be imminent in Taiwan. We've put our allies in East Asia on notice. So the question is, why is Elon Musk, who has no need to know of that whatsoever, why was he forcing himself into the Pentagon to get a highly classified brief? That has to be investigated, and his security clearance should be held in abeyance. And with no security clearance, he can't run the companies.
I mean, he is running the satellites that are helping the United States target things in Eastern Europe and in the Middle East. So I don't know maybe whether he should or shouldn't have security clearance, but it does sound like he is working with the military. And we got somebody said James Rideout, shout out to, he said, God bless Steve Bannon. Oh shit. Okay, all right. And Black Conservative, shout out to this man. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you. I am conservative thinking. I am a registered Republican, but that's only to be a middle finger to the Democrat Party because I felt like they lied to me my entire life. Just putting that on record. Come on, Steve, finish up. Let's go.
So whether you use the Defense Production Act or anything, but I think he shows by this immature, Bannon's a communist and a retard, the fear he has of what's going to happen given his behavior. He's quite nervous.
Big picture, it's a sad day for your populist movement, isn't it?
A sad day? What are you talking about?
A sad day for the populist movement? Shout out to Canada. Man, you must be killing it out. Jesus Christ, you must be banging your head against the wall up there. And he absolutely called Steve Bannon a retard for sure.
about.
Well, it
It's a great
looks
day
to
for
around the world that there's infighting and division, and these coalitions can't hold, and there's exchanges and slurs, and
that's the British elite. You know, the Oxford Cambridge thing. Politics is populist nationalism is every day's a grind. You're going to have good days and bad days. It's a good day here. The populists are saying, hey, you just can't come in here and insult the president and try to take over the power of the president and say that you're going to impeach the president and saying that, oh, I'm around for 40 years and imply that your money could go anywhere. You're not going to need it. The American people and the MAGA movement have stepped up here and said that's just not going to happen. So no, I think it's a great day. And we're going to have further great days. Our coalition's building every day. The popularity of it's building every day. President Trump's programs coming through, whether it's on tariffs, whether it's on this the tax cuts that are coming, trying to get our hands around these deficits, what he's doing to stop the third world war. Our movement's ascended right now, just like Nigel Farage has ascended with reform in the UK, and the populist nationalist movements on the continent of Europe are ascended. We're ascended right now, and so it's another good day. It's another day of hard work, but it's another great day.
I'll let you get on with your day of hard work.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Steve.
Shout out to Steve Bannon. I mean, I didn't really hear much of anything that he said wrong. And I have to be honest, he didn't dip into the ad hominem attacks like Elon did. You know, Elon called him a retard. You know, all Steve Bannon said was like, look, by your own words, bro, you look like you may have overstayed your visa and there may be some illegalities around there. Maybe we should look into that. And threatening the president's probably not a good idea. Maybe we should look into that. And man, you got a whole lot of government contracts and so on and so forth. Maybe we should look into that. All that stuff seems fair to me. All the stuff seems fair to me. Daniel Alonso says, never go against the Jesus. Y'all, wow. I'm in. You guys are really go against the greatest president's country will ever know, MAGA forever. God damn. That is a strong statement, but I'm not gonna say I don't disagree with you. Alex Jones, Trump, Elon Musk, Steve Bannon are all awesome. Okay, that's cool. Look, man, I get it. In Canada, there's not very many people who's standing up for conservative issues in Canada right now. Is there anybody? Does Canada have like a conservative person that's really getting it done right now? Is that even a thing? Or are you just on your own? Oh, Pierre. Did Pierre, is that the guy that just lost? Didn't the guy just lose? This guy? He just lost an election just recently. No, I'm not really up on my Canadian politics, but I feel like he just kind of lost. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, everyone has been saying he didn't do a very good job of marketing himself going down the last couple of days of his thing. Never puts out the world's richest man who sees the Matrix. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a very interesting. That's an interesting. Now, so do you think? Here's a question: do you think Dirk Diggler? Goddamn, that's hilarious. Do you think that Elon Musk is going to turn the Matrix around on Trump? Is that what you think is going to happen? Here we go. Let's see. I saw something. No, this is Elon's Twitter feed. And I think, let me see if I can find the spot. I think there was something that he said that people didn't like so much. First of all, I find this to be pretty darn interesting. You know, look, solar, this is what the Chinese are doing. Nuclear, that's what the Chinese are doing. I don't know, just because the Chinese are doing it, I don't know if it's a great idea, but I guess that's what Elon is trying to allude to. Let's see what else. Elon, he left some stuff there, nuclear and solar and wind. I kind of understand that. I get that. This was pretty dope. I believe they're doing some super heavy boosters. Now, look, you guys don't know me from a can of paint. You do not know me from a can of paint. Here is my thing with this. Let's look at this for a moment, shall we? Yeah, just look. Yeah. Let's look. I'm gonna run that back because that's crazy. You guys know what I see when I see this? Shout out to Broken Blade. What's up, brother? How you doing, sir? You know what I see when I see that? I see dollar signs. I see dollar signs is when I see what I see. That stuff ain't free. Now I'm wondering to myself, is that American tax dollars that's paying for that? That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering. Let's hear what this brother's got to say here.
Decrease in history. Let's be very clear.
Let's be clear.
It is a reduction in future increases of about $1.6 trillion. Yes, that is the biggest amount ever. But guess what? We have sizably more debt and sizably more spending than ever. So of course it should be.
Goddamn. Okay, wait a second. There's the blackest South African I know. Hey James, I know. All right, I know we're fast friends and everything. But what the fuck is that supposed to mean? I get you. I know. We just don't. I just need you to understand that I don't play that shit over here. No, we don't play. I understand you were just playing. That's why I'm telling you. We don't do that. We don't do that over here. We don't do that over here. Black and South African. We don't do that over here. We don't do that. Black, white, or otherwise, we don't do that over here. Just let you know.
But it should be more. $1.6 trillion in cuts or future reductions is really about $160 billion a year over 10 years. That's the truth. The truth is our whole budget has grown from about 3.6 trillion a decade ago to 7.2 trillion now. It's doubled. And everybody wants to applaud themselves for $160 billion of reductions and increases. I'm sorry, I don't think that's good enough. The fact is, our budget, the budget we passed to get the big, beautiful bill through, says that we should be at 6.5 trillion for 2026. But after this bill, if it's passed this way out of the Senate, we'd be at 7.2 trillion. All right, that's a lot of numbers. You want me to tell you back home? The fact of the matter is, unless we have record economic growth for an entire decade, deficits will go up. That's the truth. This bill front loads all of the cost. So for the first 4 years, 26, 27, 28, 29, deficits are up. That is, by the way, on a dynamic basis. You're going to hear a lot of people taking shots at the CBO, and they should. The CBO is biased, the CBO is left-leaning, and the CBO doesn't always get it right. But guess what? No economist ever gets it right. The fact is, we took care of that, at least in part, in the Budget Committee by assuming growth.
Salute to you, Broken Blade. What's up, bro? Welcome to the broadcast. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good.
Difficulties, but yeah.
It's all good. Hey, real quick, do me a huge favor, and not you, Broken Blade, everybody that happens to be watching, just hit that like button for me really quick, and a quick subscribe would be amazing. If we haven't learned anything yet and you haven't been entertained, then that's okay. Maybe next time. Broken Blade, it sounds like this guy is trying to justify a lot of non-changes in government spending. It sounds like there's a lot of tap dancing going on, is what I'm hearing right here. And it seems like everybody is just trying to justify kicking the can down the road. Nobody wants to cut any of these programs, but everybody wants to save, but nobody wants to lose any votes, but no one wants to lose their paycheck. I don't know exactly where you fall on this, and real quick. and before I finish my question, I want to go ahead and address something. Hey, the issue is it's not that, see, my whole issue with that whole black South African, it's like, well, what does it mean to be a black South African? Like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean exactly? Like, what are you really trying to say? You know? And I'm sure that you're not saying it as like he's tax paying, law abiding, pillar of his society when you say that. I think you're using it as a slur. That's kind of what I'm getting. And so I could be 100% wrong. If I'm 100% wrong, then there's probably better ways to say that, is what I was getting at. And that, throwing that kind of dirt around here, especially when I happen to have dark skin and I'm American. I'm not South African by any means, but I'm not going to let you just start throwing black this and black that and black this around. That's all. Now, like I said, respect. I'm glad you get a chance to like stay in here for now. Yeah, well, I totally understand that. I understand that. But again, by saying that he's the blackest, it's like, okay, well, what is it about him that makes him black? Like, why would you say that? You said it's from South Africa. A lot of people assume South Africa is all black. But why would you say that, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the blackest. It's like, okay, well, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? We're not, we know how to read between the lines around here. So anyway, I mean, he's a good guy. Okay. All right. Sure. Okay. Broken Blade. Elon, Trump, the left side, the left is jumping up and down. They're excited about this conflict. They were looking for Steve Bannon to throw some red meat to the people, but Steve Bannon didn't take the bait. Do you think that this whole Elon Musk v. Trump is a nothing burger, or do you think that there's actually something to it?
Oh, a bit of both. Like, it might come up in some ways that, like, maybe in the business world later on. But as far as like politics, I don't think it's changing much.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's kind of where I landed with it. I think Elon Musk has a lot of international exploits. You know, all these businesses. You know, obviously X, SpaceX, blah 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 blah. All this international stuff, and I think that he was expecting a lot of the cuts to come out of stuff that were also regulating him. And I think that there were a lot of things that were protecting him and his businesses that were not. That were in the bill. So I think that was where a lot of that came from. Larry Ellison will speak to Elon just like he did during the Apple feud, voice of reason. Maybe. I mean, again, these are all billionaires. These are all billionaires. So I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, they don't really live how we live. The things that are important to them aren't as important to us. And I think that there's a lot less care about these policies and what they actually do to the American people, in my honest opinion. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. I'm not saying all billionaires are bad. I'm just saying that the ones that we keep talking about right now probably don't have your best interests at heart. He said, I didn't even know Elon was from South Africa. Said most people. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, his family came from diamond mining. If I'm not mistaken, his dad was like a diamond miner or something. And so he's got South African
can of worms.
Exactly. So I believe he's got South African apartheid tendencies anyway, which is crazy that we even allow him anywhere close to the United States government. But I guess when you could put 500 billion on the emeralds, gotcha. I knew it was some sort of a mining something. Yeah. Nelson Mandela was also from South Africa. Man, sometimes I just wonder whether they just trying to poke just to do it. Anyways, let's let this young man continue.
We assumed economic growth of 2.6%, higher than the last 2 decades average, lower than the historic average. Why does that matter? Because we've already accounted for what you call dynamic scoring.
My bullshit meter's going off, Broken Blade. my bullshit meter's going off, Broken Blade. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm gonna let him keep going, but I don't know. I'm having a hard time with this one already.
Meaning the impact of the tax cuts on revenue. All right, so what does that mean in simple terms? It means that if you look at our analysis, even assuming economic growth and more revenue from that growth, we will still have $400 billion of deficits added to the existing $2 trillion deficit in 2026 because of the bill. Those deficits will go up even more, and it'll be another 400 billion or so in 27. 28, we add to the deficits. 29, we add to the deficits. Finally, in 2030, deficits go down. And if you look across the entirety of the 10 years under this bill, you are basically at somewhere around break even on the impact on deficits. Now, again, everybody understand what I'm saying. The deficits of roughly around 1.8 to
Is he basically saying that the deficit is going to stay jacked up all the way through Trump's presidency, and then after Trump gets out of after the president, that's when the deficit is going to? That's basically what he just said. Am I tripping? Is that what he said? He's like, it's going to go up, and then it's going to come down. Let me see. Hold on.
28, we add to the deficit. Those deficits will go up even more. And it'll be another 400 billion or so in 27. 28, we add to the deficits. 29, we add to the deficits. Finally, in 2030, deficits go down. And if you look across the entirety of the 10 years under this bill, you are basically at somewhere around break even on the impact on deficits. Now, again, everybody understand what I'm saying. The deficits of roughly around 1.8 to 2 trillion a year will continue. This bill will adjust taxes and adjust spending, will increase deficits for 3 or 4 or 5 years, and then cut deficits in the outer 5 years if you believe that will ever happen. Only in this town do you assume that the good things will happen in 5 years and accept the bad things in the first years.
Does anybody believe that? I'm just asking. Does anybody believe that? I don't know. Let's see. How will they're supposed to spend increase fee on where they must run this smooth. Let's see. How can they're supposed to spend? I think I get the general gist of what you were trying to say. I think I get the general decision. Get what you call it. Dirk Diggler said something interesting. Peter Thiel and other Silicon Valley bros are looking to protect their business through the presidency. Absolutely, man. We got to work on questions. Who will Vance support, and will Trump support Vance? I think no. You know what, man? Broken Blade. What do you think? Do you think Donald Trump is going to support JD Vance? Like as of right now, because I mean, a lot can happen in the next 3 years, but as of right now.
I think so.
You
overseas would really go after people that have gone against him first.
Mm.
Dude's been in his corner so far. I don't see like why he would make an enemy needlessly.
I think you're on the money on that one, and I honestly think JD Vance is. I think he's taken a lot of heat off of JD Vance and on purpose. It's like, yo, you get down there, get your feet wet, get to know the people you need to get to know, have the relationships you need to have. You know what I'm saying? And with very little stress. There's been a couple of times he put JD on camera. JD's been on a couple of interviews doing his thing. I think Trump is intentionally taking all the arrows and the bullets to give everyone else room to kind of breathe. And then, you know, because honestly, it seems like it's keeping all the Democrats off balance. You know,
like they get excited. Okay, Elon has beef with Trump. Okay, there's still far more structure among the right than there is among the left right now.
Way more. So that's why I kind of think this is a bit of a nothing burger. It could. I mean, again, maybe if this were happening on the left, meaning like the Democrat president was fighting with Elon on that side, like the way the left fights, it's probably be a big deal. But over here on the right, it's like, man, look, he was talking crazy. I kind of, you know, this thing kind of affects his business in a negative way. I understand. I'd be mad too. Elon will be all right. Elon will be okay. You know, we got other stuff to do, is how I perceive the whole thing for being.
And also, like, just an example of how tone deaf the left still is. If this post was accurate, saw something on Facebook about Democrats. They put somebody in charge to try to reach out to young men, get them on board.
Yeah.
And the person they got is this woman that labeled herself is a queer, Latina, and disabled.
That's best they got, huh?
Yeah. Good luck to you.
Best they got. You know, let them do that. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Broken Blade. Look at this. Look, hold on. It's just a test.
Let's go.
So check it out. So you see all that? That's actually, if I'm not mistaken, that is water. So they preemptively spray an ass ton of water down into the area behind the the booster. And then obviously there's a big cavity so that there's like a outlet underneath. So what you see as the ground is not the actual ground. It's empty underneath there. And then there's exit pipes, but they just spray that whole area full of water while they're firing the whatchamacallit. It's kind of crazy. But anyways, when I see this, I see dollar signs.
Let's go.
Yeah, I see dollar signs. And like I said, I was saying it earlier, I don't know if it's us who pays for that? Like, is that us paying for that? Starship. Anyway, what are your how was your week? How'd your weekend up, Broken Blade?
Oh, I'm here.
I feel that. We'll talk off.
Not necessarily good or bad, just
I feel that.
Yeah.
So I got way too used to your life. Now Broken Blade. Oftentimes we talk about kind of how some people get treated a particular way and some people get treated a different way, right? And you take the exact same act and you just put different bodies in that act. And then it's interesting how people act a little bit different, right? So you got this kid minding his own business, shaking his booty at a festival, what it looks like. And he does look like he's all by himself. And he does look like he's acting a fool. And he's probably on some kind of a drug, I imagine, right? I imagine. But he is by himself and he doesn't seem to be bothering anybody. Well, I want you to like look at what happens to this young man. And this is a cold game. Is that you?
Yeah, I think it's me.
Oh, okay, here we go. And let's rock and let's go. Bam.
Body on body, your body on max. I got my man on you. I got way too used to your lies. Still turn around and cry for you. Yearn for it. I done waited my turn for it. I done fucked around and learned something. You had tried to make me earn something. I dance like I'm C Breezy. Never in the fight is easy. I done been in tough spots. I done been in rough spots. Got a soft spot for the trap cause it needs me. Believe it. Body on body, your body on.
Now, if one of us did something like that, Broken Blade, what would be the narrative around that? Would that not be full-blown assault?
Yes.
Would it not be?
It would be exposed to violence.
Right.
Super predators.
Right. How can we're supposed to? Okay, what are you doing? He said flying to Mars. Yeah, well, and then he said perfect on New Age. Glory of MAGA positive effect. That's interesting. Watch out for Neuralink. Yeah, we're not doing that Neuralink thing. We're not doing that. Not over here on this side. Not on this side of the internet. We're cool. We're cool.
I agree completely, though.
Oh, dog, we gotta look at this real fast. Okay. Are you ready for this, Broken Blade? Hold on. Watch this. Watch. I didn't really realize those things are charged up like that, bro. Yikes. Jesus Christ. Hell nah. What else?
You're probably only getting paid like 12 an hour to do that dangerous crap too.
Yeah. Crazy talk. Check this out. David Epstein charged with 24 counts of bestiality and possession of child, material. Interesting. Ain't that crazy? Like, I've seen this guy a million times on the street. This is scary as hell for me. This is terrifying. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is wild. This is crazy. What else we got up on here? Oh, we got a Broken Blade. We got to see what this is all about.
I get oil for my head. It is shit. I do too much, nigga, breathe. Really ain't got no defeat. I get oil for my head. Eat the shit. I do too much, I go breathe. You ain't got nothing feed. Move the
Anybody that would have anything to say about us versus these Africans has lost their goddamn mind. I'm just saying.
Move
The eyes rolling back in the head is what gets me, dog. Like the whites of the eyes, that part, that's what gets me. That's what really kind of, I don't even I want to understand. This poor brother right here. Somebody tell him his legs ain't supposed to work like that. How do his sandals stay on? That's crazy. I'm pretty sure I've had nightmares like this. Right? Like I'm pretty sure you running down, you know what I'm saying, running down the hallway to your bedroom. I'm pretty sure I've had nightmares that look just like this.
I get oil for my head. Eat the shit. I do too much, I go breathe. You ain't got nothing feed. I get oil for my head. Eat the shit. I do too.
Wait, hold on. Is that child's chest pregnant? Why is his chest pregnant? Why does he look like that? Oh, man.
I get oil for my head. Eat the shit. I do too much, I go breathe.
Oh, she ain't got no teeth in the front either. God. Yeah, that's crazy. The eyes rolling back in the head is crazy. Okay, so broken blade. Okay, so broken blade.
Like the kid in all blue, at least like bobbing in the middle, like he was advertising, bro. Like,
Yeah. Right. That was closer to what I think it would be like. Okay, so broken blade, really quick, real quick. Man, it seems we keep coming up in the situations where people are having these interactions in public. And here's what I want people to defend themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like I want us to defend ourselves. I would like for you to tell me at the end of this if you think that this is a fitting butt kicking, if this is warranted. Yeah. And so and for those of you, if you're squeamish and you're not really into, seeing hand-to-hand combat, and we don't condone any violence whatsoever, you know what I'm saying? You should look away for a split second. But if you're curious, then stick around. Broken Blade, I'd like for you to let me know if you think that this is warranted, if or not, this situation here.
What you gonna do, boy? What you gonna do in here with everybody here, man? What you gonna do? Get your ass up there and get the fucking. Hey! Who? Come on, man. Bitch ass. What? Who? Come on, man. Man, I know, bitch, you got that shit. Man, I didn't do nothing. Come on. Shut up. I ain't trying to do shit. Come on, man.
Yeah, let them hear it again. Hold on, you got to hear it again because he said it. Yeah, he said it.
What you gonna do in here with everybody here, man? What you gonna do? Get your ass up there and get your fucking. Hey! Hey! Who? Come on, man. Bitch ass. What? Who? Come on, man. Man, I know. Bitch, you got that shit. Man, I didn't do nothing. Come on.
Broken Blade. And he even had the nerve to say he didn't do nothing to him there at the end. Broken Blade, was that over the top, or was he asking for that?
First of all, to the non-melanated people that may be watching this, black people, black men especially, feel a certain type of way when someone non-melanated calls them boy.
Yeah. Real quick, let me help you. Let me add on to that real quick. White folks, please, look, keep your hands to yourself and don't call us boy or N-word. Boy or N-word. Those are triggering. You never know what might happen. Now, look, somebody's willing to take, like that brother right there was willing to take a charge. He made a decision in his head and he said, you know what? I might take a charge for this one. I'm going to take a charge for this one. And that's fine. But just understand that you don't want to be on the receiving end of that, is what I'm saying. So keep your hands to yourself. Don't use boy or the N-word. Go ahead. Sorry.
Not saying that's necessarily right, but like there's everything going on right now. Recession, all of this, people, everybody's on edge. So you got to expect from all sides, people are going to react a lot more than they would usually. I was watching a video a couple weeks back. Trucker was talking about an altercation he saw go down between two truckers arguing over like a squeegee, and that nearly got out of hand. One of the truckers, he caught himself, realized like how out of pocket he was getting. The dude broke down. I sobbed like a child in front of this dude, and like, man, just I'm under a lot of stress right now, man. My bad. Like people are on edge right now.
Yeah. You know,
Houthi gotta consider that.
I think you're onto something, Broken Blade. I think you're 100% correct. I think people are on edge right now. I think people really are on edge because I think these people just now tell me something. What is it still stealing when the non-melanated blonde hair lady is taking things? I don't know. Her reaction is crazy though. Check this out.
Open. You lock it. Fucking goof. Miguel, get over here now! Call 911, please. Miguel!
I'm just filming for your guys' sake, that's all. I'm just trying to buy a sandwich. I'm filming.
Put your fucking camera away. This guy is beating the shit out of me.
Don't attack me, man. Don't fucking bite me, you fuck. What the fuck are you doing? You're attacking the wrong fucking guy, man.
Fucking break my shit.
She's stealing the cup. She's
not
a
fuck.
She
fucking boo. Candy's up there, you goof.
That's your dog, man.
Dog's like, what did I do? Dog's like, you sent me in here. This guy kicked me over here. This guy hit me over here. But poor dog. He's like, man, look, I'm just a seeing eye dog, man. I'm just here for comfort. Why are you? I'm not an attack dog. Oh my God. She sent the dog in, bro.
Fucking kill you.
Sandeep Nim don't know what to do.
I got that whole thing on video. All of it. All of it. I got that whole thing on video, dude. I recorded all that shit.
I mean, he did hit her with a big ass bag. I'm just saying. Who sits the dog? Ooh. Yeah. You're muted. You shouldn't have done that. But what'd you say? You're good now.
Oh, there was a deep thud with that hit.
It was. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what was in there, or maybe it just was the way it sounded. I don't know. But that's so awkward.
Like crashing over a freaking candy bar.
It's Broken Blade. I almost had a guy square up on me today in a wrap shop. I'm getting lunch in a wrap shop. Okay, so let me paint the picture for you. So I'm in the marina, so it's a pretty affluent area. Got me? And I'm on this strip, Chestnut, Fillmore. Like Chestnut's got all these like really high-end restaurants and stuff. Like there's an Apple store right up, like a couple of doors up. So I'm on Chestnut Street and I'm getting myself a chicken wrap, getting some healthy food, right? And I don't know if you know this or not, but there's a very big Uber Eats and like food delivery culture here now. So outside of all these places, you've got a bunch of guys sitting on mopeds that look kind of like Sandeep Nim. Okay. And they're all sitting outside, like all up and down the streets. They're sitting like almost in like moped biker gangs. Okay. I'll take a picture and send it to you tomorrow so you'll understand what I'm talking about. I am not over exaggerating. I'm saying moped biker gangs is what it looks like. Okay.
And story my sister told me.
So these guys are, I mean, most of them are, a lot of them Hispanic, Latino. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like they're immigrants, most of them immigrants. Okay. And so one guy comes up and and it's kind of messed up because they're kind of rude, like to the people that they're picking up food. They just like have their phone out and they just like shove their phone into the person that's behind the counter. And then it's like the person behind the counter is supposed to like look at your phone and know who you're supposed to be, whose stuff you're supposed to be picking up. And they're usually kind of impatient, right? And they usually kind of like skip lines and stuff. So there's already a bit of contention around the whole situation anyway, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm ordering my food and he's already shown this guy and he's like, oh, the order's not quite ready yet. And the guy's standing there. Well, right in front of him, he's kind of the people behind the counter can't exactly see him. He's kind of standing off to the side and there's a drink shelves right here. So there's like juices and water and whatever, right? Well, I'm always looking. I'm never not paying attention ever. So he reaches over and grabs a bottle of water and slides it in his bag. I catch it out of the corner of my eye. So I snap my head over and I look at him and I'm looking at his bag and I'm looking at him. I'm looking at his bag and I'm looking at him. He's looking at me as if I don't know what I'm looking at. You know, when you catch a crackhead doing something and they're like, I'm not high, you're high. So he's kind of looking at me like that. And I'm looking at him and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to give him about 10 seconds to fess up and either put that water bottle back or walk over here and pay for it. Otherwise, I'm going to bust him out. Well, he's stuck because he hasn't gotten his food yet and he's waiting on the order. So he has to stand there. He can't just leave. So I'm standing there. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. He's looking at him, looking at me, looking at him, looking at me. Then he's looking back at me and it almost looks like he wanted to square up. And I'm looking at him like, I was like, so if you think I'm just going to, I literally said, if you think I'm just going to stand here and let you just take that without paying for it, you're mistaken. Yeah. And he looks at me and he's like, and I look over at him. And so the guy across like catty corner now on the backside, he's figured out what has happened. Now he didn't really move to do anything, but I'm looking over at him like, so are you going to handle it or do you want me to bust you out in front of all these people? I'm kind of looking at him. So he's looking at me like he wants a problem. He kind of makes his way around to the other side and then like pulls out a $20 bill. to pay for his water. And I start laughing. I'm like, yo, this fool really look, and he's mad dogging me, bro. Like he is mad dogging me. And I'm sitting here like, yo, they are real comfortable around here that he can just I'm at fault. Like, to hell with you for catching me for stealing something. Like, what? So he gets done paying and he gets his money back and he's just eyeballing me. And I'm like, hey, bro, you can get it. You can get it. You picked the wrong one today. I got time. I'm in a bad mood. You know what I'm saying? Like, please. It was kind of shocking, dog. It was a little bit shocking. I was like, wow, this. But see, here's what happens, though. We always get the bad rap for doing wrong, though. And no one ever says anything to these. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like it didn't even happen. Right? Like, if it was a melanated, like, we know it's never the same. It's just never the same. People never have the same image.
And the comedian Louis C.K. had a whole story about that, talking about how awesome it is to be white. He talked about he walked into this local store. Am I good?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sorry. I was trying to decide if I was going to be offended by a comment. That's good. You know.
Throw somebody out. Yeah, he was at the store. He was looking around. He went to the drink section, grabbed a bottle of water, and he kept looking around the store. Didn't see anything he wanted, so he walked out. He's walking a couple blocks. Opens the bottle of water, takes a swig. Oh shit! I forgot to pay for this. It looked back like they didn't even stop. Like, wow. Like, damn, all right. Keep it pushing.
Yeah.
It wasn't funny. Like the whole thing. Yeah, it's talking about also being. Yeah, I know the day is coming when the so-called minorities get their shit together. Yeah, they're going to fuck us in the ass for all eternity.
Yeah.
Until then, no, whoopee.
I mean, that's the privilege. It's part of the privilege.
Yeah,
that's the word that they use. It's the word nobody wants to use. Here we go. We'll end on this. Look, check this out. I'm curious to know how y'all feel about this. This is interesting here. This is
Army outfit doesn't mean nothing. You want to do hand-to-hand combat outside? Let me know anytime you want.
Okay, turn the camera off.
Anytime you want.
Turn the camera off. Let's go outside.
Anytime you want.
Turn the
Let's
camera
go.
off. Let's go outside.
Let's go.
Turn the camera off. Let's go outside. You want to do hand-to-hand combat?
Yeah, hand-to-hand combat.
Come on.
Hand-to-hand combat.
Come on, let's go.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You ain't gonna do it.
Nah, come on, let's go outside.
You're all talk.
Come on.
You're all talk,
Let's
buddy.
go outside. Come on.
You're all talk.
Put the camera down.
You're all talk.
Put the camera down.
You're gonna call the cops. Say I hit you.
No, go ahead.
You're gonna call the cops.
Go ahead and hit me. You said you want to do hand-to-hand
You're
combat.
gonna call the cops.
I'm right here. Come on.
Call the cops.
Come on.
Call the cops.
Look, Asians do a lot for this country, all right? Don't call her a communist
Don't
about
tell me
being
what
in
to
China.
do.
Okay?
Don't ever tell me what to do.
Okay.
Don't ever tell me
right
what
now.
to do in my country.
Okay.
Don't ever tell me what to do in my country.
Why are you backing up? You scared?
Step back.
You scared? I'm not. It's a free
Okay.
country, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what to do anything in your
That's
country. Okay, cool.
That's right.
Look, I knew you were scared. It's cool.
Scared of you? You're just a little guy. You're just a little guy. You're just a little guy. You're just a little guy.
All right. So, question, Broken Blade. If you're in that situation, I mean, you walked all the way outside, dog. You know what I'm saying? You walked all the way outside. What do you mean? Do you just let that? Because, like, don't walk outside if you're not going to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I tripping? Not him, the guy with the camera. Like, you challenged him to go outside and go hand-to-hand combat. You should have just propped your phone up if you were really about that life. Outside of that, I think you're just all talk. To me. But I could be wrong. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not really, I don't really, oh yeah. Okay, actually, we'll end on this one. What is actually
4時間3人黒人誰ですか？黒人？黒人なんかあります？
And real quick, The only reason why I'm covering this particular instance is because people always say that we have no culture. People say that we have no culture. And, you know, I love when people say that we have no culture, but at the same time, they're over here constantly, constantly on us. Here we go. Let's see. What does this say? He said he did his hair today.
時間かかりました。
How many
4
hours?
時間。
4
3
hours.
人黒人誰ですか？黒人？黒人なんかあります？ 3人黒人。お姉さん。50セント。あと黒人。黒人むずいな。ヒントは？難しい。トラビス。最後ラッパーじゃない人。ラッパーじゃない人？難しいラッパーじゃない人だ。むずい。あれだ。モーガン・フリーマン。髪やってきました。
Morgan Freeman. At least he got Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman, 50 Cent, and Travis Scott is who he who he managed to figure out. Look, man, shout out to him. You know, us black people, we're so cool with our culture. We share it with everybody else. We really do. We share it from everybody else. Anyways, man, I guess I'll actually do this real quick. This is one last.
This is why I say
little,
this as a student of history, and someone's been very involved in this and has stayed, gone to prison, all of it. It's because
Steve Bannon did go to prison.
It's also a guy. Listen, this is why I say this as a student of history, and someone's been very involved in this and has stayed, gone to prison, all of it. It's because of also a man, right? The country, Washington was the indispensable figure of all the great revolutionaries. He was the indispensable figure. Lincoln was the indispensable figure for the rebirth of the nation, right? General Washington at the birth, Lincoln at the rebirth. And the reclaiming of the nation and the rejuvenation of the nation is Donald Trump. Without Trump coming down that escalator, folks, yes. I had a ringside seat. And I will tell you, it ain't the Elon Musk galore. They come and go all the time. They're a dime a dozen. Okay. And all the fanboys, you look at Tony Stark, pick your comic books back up and go back to your basement room and sit in the corner for a while. Donald Trump is a man, and he stood in the breach when everybody else would have wilted. And he made one of the greatest profiles in courage. And Donald Trump's very imperfect. I ain't saying he's perfect. He's very imperfect. It's his imperfections and rising above them that makes him great. He consciously made a decision in January and February and March of 2021 to come back and say that election was stolen. I know it was stolen. I cannot rest until we make that right. We set things right. There's an illegitimate regime under Biden, and I will go. And he went through hell for years. The first 2 years, besides this show and Jack Posobiec, our Real America's Voice, and a handful of podcasts, the Breitbart guys, he was totally ignored by Fox and the Wall Street Journal and the National Review and all of them. Okay. He made a conscious decision. That conscious decision, I know they're going to try to bankrupt me. I know they're going to try to smear me. I know they're going to try to take down my family. And I don't have any power. They got the deep state. They got the big tech bros. They got lords of easy money. They got the media. They got everybody. And I'm making a decision. I'm coming back. You know what I got? I got my followers, my people, the deplorables, right? The hobbits. And the hobbits got around him and lifted him on the shoulder and said, you're our guy. Yes, because it's about the sovereignty of the nation and sealing the border and shipping 13 million out of here. Let me change that. 13 million and one, because Elon Musk is illegal and he got to go too. Okay. You're going to ship these other people home. Let's start with the South Africans. Okay. And I got a couple other could go too, but he's illegal. Deport immediately. This is what he did. No forever wars. We're going to set the finances in the country right. We're going to stop the invasion of the country, and we're going to ship out all the illegal aliens. And people got around in the longest of long shots. We won. Now we picked up, as you say on Wall Street, a little deal baggage. Okay, Elon wrote a big check, no doubt about it. In Wall Street terms, it's deal baggage. You have to just deal with it over time.
Deal baggage. I mean, I understand that, right? Right? Like Elon helped him get across the finish line, and he had to, on some level, he had to do, you wash my back, I wash yours. Pause. I don't know if that's possible, but well, I mean, interesting here, real quick.
And this is why Trump is a hero, and Elon Musk is not. And Elon Musk and his little, jumping around the stage on ketamine and everything like that with the MAGA cheering him on, and he's doing the thing and going to the inauguration, and he's a big shot, and he's getting all that adulation. He doesn't understand. That's for Trump. That's for Trump, because Trump's the man that's got in the arena and did it and risked everything, including going to prison for 300 years. We'll see how good Elon Musk takes a little of that pressure, because I happen to think a little of that pressure might be coming. But.
Yikes. Shout out to Steve Bannon X. Talking crazy since he came out of prison. I mean, like I said, Broken Blade, I don't know. I think it's a whole lot of nothing, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a, I mean, like I said, you can't have so much business that's dealing with all these international companies and all this, you know, you got money moving around across countries, across borders, so on and so forth. And you got the, you know, and the president of the United States is saying we need to bring all that stuff back and we need to stop all that international stuff. He's going to step on some toes on both sides of the aisle. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm sure that there are some Republicans that were making money off USAID. And I'm sure that there were some Republicans that were, you know, that are being protected by the deep state or whatever. I imagine that there's a lot of that happening. However, you know, if Trump's going to be consistent and he's really going to be for America, then at least best he can. He can.
Basically, everybody can get it.
Everybody can get it. Oh God, I forgot. It just keeps getting better. It just keeps getting better. Broken Blade just keeps getting better. It just keeps getting better. Sierra the rapper. Now you see how she's moving, Broken Blade. I have intentionally not listened to this clip. I absolutely have no idea how this is going to sound. I just have seen the same thing you've seen right now. Let's guess. Because what if it's popping? What if she's really good? Okay, we're gonna guess. What do you think her skill is gonna be? We're just looking at her right now. We're not hearing her. We're gonna give her even shot. Let's say 10 is like.
I'm gonna call it out now. Because it's gonna be the same with so many blues artists.
Okay,
there might be a handful of exceptions.
Okay,
like we have the Eminems out there and Stevie Ray Vaughns. It's gonna be just like the blues.
Okay. You think she's gonna be on that level?
No, meaning like at its core, most don't really get it. So either it's gonna suck, or they're copying it, or she's gonna be copying.
Hold on. Okay, wait a second. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being popping, 1 being trash. What do you think this is gonna be?
2.
2? He says 2. 10 being popping, 1 being trash. What do we think? 10 or 1? I'm with Broken Blade on this one. I'm saying I think this is probably going to be garbage, but it's hot garbage. Let's see. Elon pissed off Democrats and Republicans. Like I said, Elon, you got businesses internationally. You got to understand that his toes are going to be stepped on. Any business in America that has been selling out the American people is absolutely going to be feeling anything that's coming behind Trump. Let's hear what this lady has to say here. Is that KFC behind her? That's a Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm gonna suffer through that one more time so I could just watch your face just real fast because I'm a little bit perturbed on this one. I don't know. Chicken butt. That's what I would call her. That should be her rap name, Chicken Butt. Because I'm sure she ain't got no cakes. I ain't even got to see to know that. I'm like, I know you ain't got no cakes. We got to work on that. Don't get a BBL, girl. Just do some squats and some lunges. Get your booty right. Just get them legs and the booty right. It's okay. I'm just saying, you know, we're going to call you Chicken Butt. Yo, you see how stiff, or like, look how stiff she is. I'm just saying, look at that.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I mean, she was trying, Broken Blade. She was trying.
I called it just like the blues. They either try to emulate an established artist, or everything they know from blues they learn from watching Blues Brothers.
Facts. That's big facts. Big facts.
Like, clearly, she's an industry plant. Like,
oh yeah, for sure. No, for sure.
Found some random broad. The tattoos, the looks, everything is too forced.
Yeah, it's not gonna. I mean, yeah, it's not. Because here's the thing, man. I imagine most. I would imagine. I can only speculate. I imagine most non-melanated men aren't really attracted to that look. Not really. I mean, they might hook up with it, but I don't know. I don't really. I mean, I guess unless you're from there. Here's a real question. Do you think that her speech is authentic, or you think she actually like had something in her mouth to be able to keep that Southern drawl? You think that was all her? It sounded like she had to it sounded artificial, like she had something in her mouth to be able to keep it, but whatever. Last but not least, we'll be done with this. Check this out. I just had to see that. Because Ice is out here working, y'all.
Ice is in this bitch, bro. I swear to God. I swear to fucking God. They going crazy. No. There you go. They is out of here. Oh my God, bro.
That's the kids on cop stuff.
You know what, bro? I mean, now I'm understanding why we can't get jobs. I understand why we can't get jobs. I understand now. I understand why brothers can't find a freaking a construction job anywhere. I understand now. At first, I was like, hey, it can't be that many. Okay. All right. That's the whole work site. And this ain't the only one I've seen like this. We've covered this before. There's a bunch of them. Now I really understand why we can't find jobs. We can't find work because they're all right here. That's crazy, bro. Anyways, look, man, salute to everybody through. Happy Friday. I'm not gonna try to keep you guys super duper late. If I get all my work done, I might do a late stream if ain't nobody doing anything. But I just wanted to jump on really quick and get on this Elon and Steve Bannon bandwagon, because I truly believe, I really I still don't exactly know how Steve Bannon feels about melanated people. He's been mentioning us and saying stuff, but I don't know what's really, Republicans kind of they just don't engage in that way. They just don't, right? It's like you almost, which I respect in a couple of different ways. My only issue with Republicans is that they don't call off the dogs. Like they try to pretend like they don't see the bully police doing what they do. They all of a sudden they get amnesia, or they don't know how the law works when we're the target. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to get behind a Republican, because if you don't be like, you have to at least be like, all right, my bad, you got us. We'll stop, because you can. And the reason I know that you can is because they don't do that to other groups of people. Not everybody. They just, and they don't promote it. They just promote beating us up. Plenty of white guys get touched up, for real. I've seen plenty of white guys get touched up, but their threshold before it gets violent is way further than ours. And then if it does get violent, they're still like, here, let's get them to the hospital, or bro, are you okay? Or man, we hated to have to do that to you. At least it comes to they at least acknowledge, you know what I'm saying?
Or the odds that act of violence toward them will be shown in the media en masse.
Not en masse. So it's almost like it doesn't happen. And that's the big misconception, this media thing is a pretty big deal, man. Like because I keep hearing this like black on black this and black on black crime and blah, 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 and you know what I'm saying? And like people keep using that and they keep saying it like they say stuff, or they're like, oh, per capita, black people get arrested more than, or commit more crime. And it's like, no, that's not it at all. They get arrested more for the same crimes. And then at every step along the way, white folks get away. So by the end of it, when it comes to actually locking someone up, we're overrepresented for people that are getting locked up because they don't cut us any breaks. So of course the numbers are skewed, right? Like, anyway, I really hope that I wish that the Republican Party would at least make some sort of an effort to reach out to conservative blacks, because right now I feel politically homeless for real. But that's just me. Broken Blade, anything you want to leave everybody with before we get up out of here? Any messages, anything you want to say, anything you want to get off your chest? You're kind of breaking up. We might have to save it because you kind of keep popping in and out. It's all good. Oh man, I was about to show some. I can't do that. It's like some more trauma. Oh, okay. Actually, for all of my people, I need somebody to let me know what the hell this is. I'm gonna start from the beginning. I mean, I'm sure she's acting for some sort of a thing, but man, that's creepy as hell. We just don't. That's wild. That's some wild stuff. Anyway, sorry, Broken Blade. Anything you want to say? Are you back? You back? You beggity back?
I hope so.
There you go.
I watched the Try Not to Laugh compilation, and then the compilation. It was a white guy that did this. White rappers, the moment they hit it big. And then conversation, y'all do all the rappers on the real, I'm a country boy at heart, plus on the cowboy hat. Yeah, all about that country. That's again with Deception and Eminem. That's practically all of them.
Yeah.
Like it's been just the lick as old as time. But still from us, then renounce us.
Mm-hmm.
Which is another reason I'm giving that broadside. you can smell it. You can see the lick coming from miles away.
Of course.
I'm hoping they don't pull it off. That might be like the final nail in the coffin for me as far as like any hope I might have for the community. You let her get this shit off. Fuck everything.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. Here's what'll happen is the question becomes, because here's the thing. She can absolutely make it without us on numbers.
Yeah.
But she won't, because unless we co-sign, the other side won't like her. So unless we co-sign and be like, yeah, she's all right, everybody else isn't going to jump on. Because
with pissing me off, I see the fucking play, right? Get on with Drake, one of his tracks. Get on with a couple other rappers.
Okay, all right, we're going Okay, we're going to leave on something funny. Salute to everybody. We're going to be done on this one. Okay. This dude's commentary is hilarious. It had me on the floor. I cannot lie. It was funny. So we're gonna end on this one. Trending on Twitter. Here we go. Trending on X. Let's see.
This homie isn't using legs, he's using love, carnal. Balancing his vieja. Balancing the centrifugal force of tremenda mamazota. Todo el pinche quarter panel, súbete chiquitita. She knows how to redistribute her weight. She knows how to throw it back for papi. And this vato is balancing the U.S. budget on his back. While pinche deficit. And he's getting that guap. Look at that money, big dog. That's all from love, homie. Your hamstrings are about to pop. Ahorita puro pinche glute, carnal. Calves on fleek. Y el todo el posterior chain. Hasta la madre, güey. This homie isn't using legs. He's using love, carnal.
He's using love, carnal. Oh.
Balancing his vieja. Balancing the centrifugal force of tremenda mamazota. Todo el pinche quarter panel, súbete chiquitita. She knows how to redistribute her weight. She knows how to throw it back for papi. And this vato is balancing the U.S. budget on his back. While pinche deficit. And he's getting that guap. Look at that money, big dog. That's all from love, homie. Your hamstrings are about to pop. Ahorita puro pinche glute, carnal. Calves on fleek. Y el todo el posterior chain. Hasta la madre, güey. This homie isn't using legs. He's using love, carnal. Balancing his vieja. Balancing the centrifugal force of tremenda mamazota. Todo el pinche quarter panel, súbete chiquitita. She knows how to redistribute her weight. She knows how to throw it back for papi. And this vato is balancing the U.S. budget on his back. While pinche deficit. And he's getting that guap. Look at that money, big dog. That's all from love, homie. Your hamstrings are about to pop. Ahorita puro pinche glute, carnal. Calves on fleek. Y el todo el posterior chain. Hasta la madre, güey.
I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. We out. Peace.
I'm a king.